What is good, beautiful individuals? It is me, Captain Dub. I am back at it again with another video, but this time is gonna be something new. So what I have cooking for you today is I had a little sit-down discussion with one of the homies. One thing I love to do and I feel like I have a passion for is to just converse, is to go back and forth with somebody and just speak on growth, elevation, love, passion, and what motivates us to become better. So that's what I have for you today. I sat down with the homie Ethan from Kingdom Athletics. I'll leave his channel in the description. Go check him out. He's on his journey as well. He's producing dope content, and you'll definitely get some value from going over to his page. So just go there, just subscribe. Say Captain Dub sent you, say Theo sent you, whatever. But nonetheless, let's dive into this discussion that we have. It was good, pretty insightful, and hopefully you find something that can help you become a better version of you yourself. All right, let's get it. I feel like with me, I feel like if I were to speak on a career with any younger generation, I don't know if I'm the most responsible, because number one, for a career, I'm gonna say, like, follow your heart, bro. Like, follow what you love. Yeah. Because when you follow what you love, you find purpose. And when you find purpose, it's so much easier, because now you're, instead of looking at the vast world of the possibilities you have, now you're looking at what you like to do. Now you're looking at what you're good at. Now you're looking at something that will actually bring you fulfillment. That's how you find your career. Because if you're just looking for a next paycheck, bro, then you gotta go on the whole journey of you can't find happiness with money. Money doesn't bring happiness. Like,
let me throw an idea at you. What if that person's purpose is to provide for their family? So they do the trucking job, or they do the distribution management at Lowe's, because they see that being a means to the end for them, and the fulfillment is within the purpose of their family.
Well, that's fine. Like, knowing that your purpose is to provide for your kin, to provide for your family. Yeah. You don't. Not everybody needs to be a leader. Not everybody needs to be a boss, bro. Okay. That's another misconception that the era gives. Like, everybody has to be this hustler. Everybody has to be this entrepreneur.
Money maker.
Like, no. Like, some people, that's not made for them. Some people don't want to put in that extra work. Some people want to clock in, clock out, want that scheduled regimen. And that's totally fine. You're not lesser than. As long as you're doing your purpose to the best of your ability, you're good.
There you go. Okay.
You're good. Okay. There's no worries. You can be a trucker. You can work at Domino's. If you like Domino's, work at Domino's.
That's what Domino's, right?
I like Domino's. You like Domino's? I like Domino's.
I like Domino's. That's what Domino's too, to be honest.
But yeah, in terms of careers, like, I feel like people need to grasp that you don't have to be that guy. Not everybody's that guy.
It's true.
Not everybody's that guy.
And if everybody was that guy, I think there'd be no space for themselves. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
That's the tough part too. Creative space.
What do you mean by creative space?
So, when you're creating yourself, right? And you're creating this ultimate... So, Theo at level 100, right? Does he get lost when he goes on Instagram and he sees Cristiano Ronaldo on level 100? You know what I mean? When you're creating yourself, do you get lost in the ebb and flow of somebody else? Right? Like, you're trying to be that guy, right? And then you're forgetting that you're still in the process of creating yourself. You know what I mean?
See.
Right? So it's like that. How do you manage that, and how do you stay to your course? Because I can speak on that a lot. I think with myself, especially in my younger years, bro, I was always looking at what somebody else was doing, and I was looking at that Gary Vee or the roommates or whoever, and I'm like, yo, this is exactly what I want to do. You know what I mean? And then I'm forgetting that this is the thing that they created. It's their space. I can't go and I can emulate it. I could be a number two, but do you really want to be a number two? Do you know what I'm saying?
I see.
Right? That could be a really...
I guess that's where, are you using them as healthy inspiration, or are you trying to compare yourself to them? Is it that comparison? Comparison is the thief
of joy.
Right? If you think I want to be Gary Vee, you fucked up. I want to be like Gary Vee. I'm inspired by Gary Vee. Give me that. I want that energy. That's what you need, because at the end of the day, you'll only be you. Like the goals that you set, yes, you may love playing soccer and you love Cristiano Ronaldo. You will never be Cristiano Ronaldo.
Never.
So you can set your bar on being worse, or you can set your bar on being better than. You will never be Cristiano Ronaldo.
100%.
So don't try it. Yeah. Don't try to be.
100%.
That's if you don't know, that's that self-knowledge. That's knowledge of self. That's the number one thing that somebody needs. Like that knowledge of self gives you the direction you should be going. A lot of people don't know who they are. A lot of people don't know what they like. A lot of people don't know what gets them going. And that's that internal discovery. It's crucial, bro. It's crucial to personal development, self-development, self-love. How can you love yourself if you don't know who you are?
Oof.
If you're put inside of a box, if all you think you are is Ethan, you're failed. You're so much more than that. You're your passion. You're your drive. You're your goals. You're what you love. You're your emotions. You're your mindset. You're so much more than just a name, a face, and an occupation.
So true.
And once you're able to free yourself of that box of just that name, face, and occupation, then you truly discover what self is, and then you can. Sky's the limit, man. Sky's the limit. That's when you start truly living. That's when you truly start living
authentically. Current reality could possibly
you're bigger than
contain.
There's no reality where you're not bigger than where you are, where you're not at this greatness, this highest level.
This it's a reality that can't even fathom your current state. So it bothers me. It stays with me so often that I associate it with me.
I know,
you know
bro.
What I mean?
Like it's that greatness gene. And I don't like me saying this. I have to preface by saying like it doesn't mean that you're better than somebody else.
No,
not at all. But like. When you just know deep down inside that you're meant for something more, you're meant for something greater. It's just different. Nobody can tell you anything. It's like it's entwined with you. And for me, like I feel like I'm lucky enough. Like people can see my greatness gene, and sometimes I can't see it, but still always in the back of my head, I know that I'm meant for something greater. I know that I'm not a regular person. My life could never be regular. It's impossible. I'd rather not live than live a regular life. It's just not for me.
Powerful.
It's not for this life that I'm living right now. I have to be more. I have to.
Let me ask you a question. Where did that come? Where and what age did that come in for you?
Me acknowledging my greatness gene. It definitely happened. It definitely happened later in life.
Okay.
Because, there was a point in my life where I had to, do self-reflection, and then I also had to speak with like my family and like ask them about like how I was, because you don't really know who you were as a kid. The people around you know.
They know, they see it.
So I asked them, how was I? Is this how how did people think of me? How did I act? And apparently people stay fucking with me. Like people always mess with me. I was always. It was seen that I was different. I was always different. And when I was able to do that internal work and like ask the people around me that and actually see that maybe I am different. Maybe I'm better. I'm good at a lot of things. I took a different approach my whole life. This isn't just me saying I'm a creative person. Apparently, it shows.
It's evident in your day-to-day steps.
In my day-to-day steps, and then I started to realize, there was a point where I was cocky. I was deep in my divine masculine. I was cocky. I wanted to just, I wanted power. I wanted money. I was all analytical. I wasn't emotional at all. I wasn't in tune with that. I was just emitting nothing but alpha male energy to a fault. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Too much of anything is toxic. But I had that point, and that definitely made me more sure of myself that I needed more, that other people were regular and I wasn't. And then also once I reached a point of being entwined with my divine feminine, learning the spiritual side, learning the emotional side, the free flow, learning what love is, then it just brought me back again to like, dude, you're different. You're special. You're meant for more. And then the mentors I've had in my life, like my brother, and just individuals around me, like we're gonna speak on mentors a little bit later, but just those people around me that I admired, they'd reaffirm that I was meant for something greater,
something else.
And there's only so many times you're hearing it to where it's gonna be true. But it only really matters if you're saying it to yourself. Only if you believe it is when it's true. You can have everybody in the world tell you you're special, and if you don't think you're special, you won't be special.
You won't be special.
So it was a journey for me to learn it, and then when people started telling me, then it all just clicked, and now that became my identity. I know it's intertwined with me, and I don't need to reach for it. It's always gonna be. Let's go into mentors. You said that you encountered mentors.
Yeah, man.
Would you say you had a lot of mentors?
Yeah. For me, man, I think man, when I was young, I always wanted to have like a bigger bro. Having that bigger bro to kind of look up to and be like, this is how you're supposed to do shit. And I have 2 buddies of mine that I'm really good friends with, and I've known them since I was like grade 10, grade 9, and they battle each other so much. I got a couple of friends that have 2 brothers, and I've always wanted that experience. But in my family, there isn't uncles, there isn't people that I was close to in terms of that. So that little look up to a hero type person was not there for
me.
Like
that dominant male figure.
Yeah, somebody that I could look up to that was competent with the stuff that men should be good at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, what happened was I started my curiosity to learn more about high technical skills or gain advice or experience will make me ask questions to certain people. And from that, somebody would pick up that this guy is curious about such and such, and they give me more in-depth knowledge or wisdom on what it is I was trying to learn. And I think that it put me in a detriment because there's a lot of people that are they do not have the right skills and the right heart to be a good mentor. To be a good mentor, you have to think about the person that is coming to you. You have to have a certain strong sense of wisdom or knowledge in what you're teaching, and you also have to be ready to partake your wisdom to a younger generation, right? And when I look at my life, there's a lot of people that I gained wisdom from and knowledge from, but there's only a few people that I would consider mentors. But I have been blessed by God to have met great people, that have mentored me in a certain time, for sure, 100%.
That I remember, like, I literally had a quest for a mentor.
Oh yeah? Wow.
Because I never really had one. I've never had that one-on-one person, like you said, that's just has me under their wing, that's showing me what's right and what's wrong. I never really had it like that. And then one day I was like, I need a mentor. Like everybody has these mentors. I was learning self-development like early on. I knew that the people that were great had a mentor to get them to their greatest selves, and I wanted that. And so I would look around and be like, I want a mentor. Like, how do I get a mentor? And then I started to realize, aside from my brother, I can say now my brother was like a mentor to me, or is a mentor to me. He's definitely has a seat at that round table. He's an advisor to my life, of course.
Yeah.
But then I started, I wanted somebody who obtained what I wanted. I wanted that rich guy or that, that famous person or somebody who's well known in their craft to come take me under the wing. Exactly, that's what I wanted. And I was searching, how do I get a mentor? How do I get a mentor?
Yeah.
And then one day I realized that my mentors, the mentors that are bestowed upon me in my life are like friends. So there's a lot of friends that I've met throughout my life.
Powerful.
that just taught me a lot.
Taught you along the way.
Whatever. I was like, if I was into philosophy, I'd meet somebody who knew philosophy, and we'd always rap about it. And I'd learn so much about it.
Pick up stuff from it.
Exactly.
I get you.
And then same with a friend for psychology. You'd be learning psychology, and then we'd be doing it back and forth. And they'd be teaching me something. It'd be quid pro quo, back and forth. And at the time, I didn't realize these people as a mentor. I just seen them as a friend. And then I started realizing, so this is what life is giving me. It's giving me these people around me. They may not be the person that, they may not be the look of a mentor that I was searching for, but they were teaching me so much.
So many things.
So even for like you, I see you as a mentor. Yeah. Like the friends, the people I keep around me. Yeah. Like me, I'm not a person that I'm not on you all the time. Like I have a very small friend group that I'll constantly be seeing somebody on and on. But the friends I do have, they all have their little their little niches that they're great at, and I can always touch base with them, and I always learn when I speak to them.
Yeah.
You know, and I try and teach as much whatever I know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I know something that I can bestow upon my friends.
Inspire,
But my friends are my mentors, and they're the people that help me get to that next level.
Yeah, I see. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, man.
Let me ask you a question. So, you said something powerful. So you mentioned how friends equated to being mentors for you in your life. So you started to look at people that were around you who guided you on your journey, and they gave you the tools, and they didn't really per se come in the mold that you thought they would be, right? I watched a really good video, and let me get your perspective on it. So Francis Ngannou, right? I'm probably messing up his last name. Heavyweight UFC champion, right? One of the best fighters, heavyweights, that have probably ever graced the sport, right? He talks a little bit about his story, right? And in his story, what he talks about is the hardship that it took for him to leave Cameroon at the time, his country, and find a better future for his family after his father died, right? And he said something really powerful. I want to get your perspective on it. So he says, while he was young, he kept looking for a savior, right? Because he was stuck mining coal every day, right? For hours in a day, he was a slave, right? Just paying to get by, paying so he can provide for his home, get the meals, you know, whatever he could do. But it was a tough life. He couldn't afford to watch his father die. Didn't have the money to take care of him. So he thought, what's going to happen with my mom's? So the first thing that came to him was, I got to leave here. Right, and he says in his one of his videos that he put out when he was talking with Joe Rogan, I think he goes, I kept looking for a savior, right, and I realized that savior was never going to come, you know, and he took the action to leave Cameroon on his own, went through hell, went through the hardest points of his life, and the flip side of it is he went through all that, became one of the greatest heavyweights in UFC history, and he left the contract with UFC to make more money somewhere else. Damn. So he completely changed not only the course of his life, but the course of his own family's life. So I wanted to ask you, so with that theme in mind, right? Do you think that sometimes us as young people that are inspiring for more, that we might be looking for not only just a mentor, but almost like a savior that kind of help us through the self-development process of us going through the hard times.
The hard times.
Yeah. Do you think that we do that?
Yeah. I feel like people that want more do that. When you know you want more, you start reaching and looking out for who can give me more. Okay. Because life is tough, man. Life is, sometimes you just want somebody to give you the answers in that situation. That's it. Like sometimes the situation is as easy as yes or no, but you just don't know the decision to make, and you just want somebody to be like, choose yes, choose it. Trust me, this is the best case scenario for you.
Like I got A, I got B, just go B.
Just go B. You just want somebody to give you that answer so that you can continue to go. Right. And it's like at the end of the day, after going through those times so many times, you're the person that's gonna make the choice. You are the final person to make that choice. So somebody can give you all this advice. You can meet the person you wish you could meet your whole life. Somebody you admire your whole life, and you ask them that question, and they give you that answer, and that answer just doesn't feel right.
Man, you were waiting for your whole life.
Oh, your whole life, and it just doesn't feel right. And that's that intuition. That's that third eye popping. You know, that's that internal knowing. Yeah. You know, and it's always gonna come down to that. You're gonna realize that the mentors you have around you and the teachers, like they can only expand your mind, but they can't make your life choices for you. It's your life, you know, and it's gonna end up being your choice overall. You know, you're gonna have to deal with it if it's a bad choice or if it's a good choice. You're gonna have to deal with that choice.
Powerful stuff, bro.
No, but 100% finding the savior within yourself. Yeah, I find that so deep because like I know you're a Christian and I know you love God. Yes, sir. And then and you know everything spiritual about that. Yeah. About Christianity. Yeah. And you know you can see Jesus as your savior, but like, do you not find that reflection within yourself?
It's a really good question.
Like that savior is always gonna be there, and I just feel like I never put something outside of me. Like if I'm speaking to God, I'm speaking to God in here. I always speak to God within my heart. That's the only way I can communicate. Whenever, for me to get that divine knowledge and that divine love, it's always within me. I can't go somewhere and pray outwards. I have to pray inwards. You know,
powerful.
Do you ever find that like this is where you're getting all your answers from? Besides out there, like what's your take on it?
Man, that's probably the best question I've had, you know, in a long time. You know, I think Christianity, bro, it gets a really, really bad rep, you know, because of the type of teachers and the type of people that speak on it, you know, and I don't know everyone's journey, because I think everyone's journey to find themselves and to find their thing that they rely on is different for everybody. It's very personal. That's why you know, talking about God and talking about faith and your inner self, it's very taboo subjects, because everyone could feel a certain type of way about it, right? For me, you know, when there came a point in my life, Theo, where I started to really look at my life, bro, and I started to realize, you know what? I don't have control over this. You know that? I accept that I am very limited and I do not have the power to change this circumstantial situation. Okay. So it required me to, you know, those 5 a.m. late nights when you're just looking at the stars and you're looking up and you're wondering, you know, what is out there, right? Then that on the same globe where you're sitting here, there's the tundra, there's the Arctic, there's the Sahara Desert, there's these climates that are all created, and we're so perfectly away from the sun that we don't burn, but we're so close to the moon also that the ocean doesn't, you know, create tidal waves every day. And things are so perfectly created, right? And the craziest part about that is I have no control over any of it. You know, so there came a time when I started to realize that, you know what, as much as I can control my life, right, I can control my code of ethics, who I become friends with, and what I do, right? How many girls that I talk to, whatever it could be, the actions that I take, right? It doesn't control the bigger picture, and that's the reason why I started to believe in God, because God is this thing that is this being, right, that created every single thing. A lot of people pray to the universe, right? But for me, it's like, I don't know how that universe came about. My thinking is, I think something created that universe and created everything perfectly for us. And the human conundrum is you have the choice to just really think about that being. And he gives you that choice. He lets you think about him and either say, yes, I'm going to accept that you're the great one, or you have the choice to kind of do your own thing, right? Kind of just believe in yourself and live on earth, right? I think there's a lot of people that are just living. You know, just living, not really questioning. For me, there came a time where I woke up and I'm like, damn, like, there's a lot happening here. Bro, when I look at you, when I look at another race, when I look at another person, I'm like, yo, these people are insane. You have 206 bones in your body. You have 600 to 500 skeletal muscles that are working actively 24/7. You have 7 to 8 different muscular or anatomy type systems that are working on what's the respiratory system, the circulatory system, the nervous system. Bro, you are a literal walking miracle. You know what I mean? Like you don't think about it because you're just living, right? You're just like, I'm just going day to day.
Especially like the brain, like your neurons firing.
The brain, the heart. You pump close to 10,000 or 100,000 beats per day or something like that.
That's crazy,
right? And the more I learn about anatomy, the more I realize, like, yo, we are living. We take life for granted, but this thing that we're living is a literal insane miracle. You could sit down and learn physiology, and it'll take you your whole life to learn it, and you'll probably only learn about 40 to 60%. There's so much more to learn. You know what I mean? So when I came to that realization, bro, and when I was younger, I was so prideful. I was so cocky. I thought I was the hottest thing. I thought I was the best thing out. I thought I had all the answers. I thought I was a god. You know, I thought I knew I could change anything I want to. But you know, I just woke up one day, bro, and I'm like, yo, I can't even control my own anatomy. I can't make my heart beat. It's beating on its own. You know what I'm saying? I can't do the things that a god can do, right? So there has to be God out there. And I sat one day, bro, and I looked at the stars, and I'm like, you know, I believe that there's a creator out there. And the story that ties into it for me was when you learn about Christ, there's so many different types of religions, right? But you see, like, there's stories of conquest, right? Stories of wars that people have won. And because of the wars, that's what the precedence is now. And that's the reigning religion, right? Or there's other beliefs that are about different type of worshipping different type of elements, right? But there's there's very few that really just focus on the creator, right? And I think when you look at, like me and you, we have this creative energy. I believe there's a creative source out there that is so powerful, so omnipotent, that we can't even fathom its level of potential. Yeah. Right? It's just unfathomable. Your human brain can't comprehend it. It's just it's not meant to. But then I started reading the Bible, and there's stories of where people were face to face with God and they couldn't even look at God. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, okay, so this is starting to make a little bit of sense to me. It just felt right. And then I learned about Christ, right? And then you learn a little bit about love, and that's a whole other conversation. One of the things that we're missing on this earth, bro, is definitely love, bro.
Dude, it's crazy because, like, man, I can go on about love forever. I can go on about love forever. Divine love.
Yeah.
Love is everything.
It's everything.
It's everything. And like you said, there isn't enough love out there, but what it really is, there's not enough people acknowledging the love that's out there. A lot of people are not getting to know the love that's out there, because I believe everything is love. I believe love is energy at its finest. So whenever I think love is a perfect guide for you. There's nothing wrong. You can never be in the wrong when you follow love. I feel like love allows you to manifest. You can only manifest the things you truly love. I feel like love gives you guidance. Dude, so the best way for me to explain love, because it's hard for me to put it into real words. The human mind can't fathom what love is.
Powerful.
The human mind cannot fathom what love is. So whenever I'm speaking to somebody who's religious or has their religion, and they're speaking about God and the love that God gives them and the guidance God gives them and what He is to their life, that clarity, that Savior, everything that person says about God and describes what God is to them, in my mind, I'm like, that's love. That's what love is to me. God is love. How many times have you heard people say God is love?
It's written.
It's literally
written.
It's literally it. Yeah. It is written.
Yeah.
So God, that's what I worship love. I worship love. I go on my hands and knees for love. Love is within me and outside. Love creates everything. God is love.
So let me ask you a question, Theo. What is what's the highest caliber of love? Like what's love at its most ultimate potential?
Ooh, the most potent form of love.
Yeah, the highest potential of it. And of course, any answer you mention right now is not a bad answer.
There's no, dude. This is a crazy question.
Yeah.
What is the most highest form?
I'm actually so excited to hear what you have to say.
Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and put it at unconditional love.
Unconditional love. Powerful.
Truly unconditional love.
Break that down for me.
When I say unconditional love, unconditional is the key word. There's nothing that needs it to be love. It just is. I can love you no matter what. You could be the worst person on earth. I love you. It's I feel like it's the love that Jesus gave. No matter the people that stoned him, put him on the cross, Jesus loved them. No matter, it doesn't take something. There's nothing before. There's nothing after. It's just love. And when you truly understand and grasp what unconditional love, that's when you can get to a point where I am in understanding what love is. Because how I learned what love is, and that love, the purest form, is unconditional love. It's actually a beautiful story.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
It was. Was it the first? I think it may have been the first time. No, I didn't do shrooms the first time. I think I did shrooms the next day. But I remember I was just out somewhere in the mountains in Alberta. I forget, where were we? Shoot, I forget all the names of the places that I've been. But we were just out in the mountains with me and the homies. We were camping. There's like this big kind of like cavern thing that you could like cliff dive, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then I was just getting in touch. I was starting to learn what camping is and going out into nature. It was beautiful. Yeah. And then I remember this morning I would run up to the top of this cliff, and then I'd go and sit on the perch, and I'd just be there and I'd be meditating, and it'd be still, it be nothing but the sound of the wind, and like it was just beautiful. It was a state of bliss.
Yeah, the ambiance. Yeah.
And so the ambiance was amazing.
Yeah, it was surreal. Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was meditating, and I was just on this tangent. I was just trying to, self-discovery and everything. And then the question in my mind as I was meditating was, what is love? What is love? What is love? I was learning about the heart chakra and love. And I'm like, so love is actually green. It's not really red or pink necessarily. Love is green. What is love? My eyes are closed. What is love? What is love? I keep on asking that question,
running it through,
and I'm feeling it. There's no, I can't fathom it in this human brain of putting what it was together. I'm feeling it. What is love? How do I find this answer?
Right.
And then I open up my eyes, and I look. I'm at the top of this mountain, and I look out into the distance, and I see this green forest, and I'm like, love is green. What is love? Love, the earth. The earth loves us. Mother Earth. And that earth was the perfect representation of love at that very moment. Why? Because the earth gives. The earth gives unconditionally.
It's true. It's true.
The earth will give you food. The earth will give you shelter.
Yeah.
It gives and gives and gives. And what do we do as human beings, us flawed human beings? We take. We destroy.
Destroy it, man. Yeah.
And what does the earth continue to do?
Still give.
Give and love.
Give and give.
The earth has unconditional love. No matter the harm we do to it, it will continue to provide.
Yep.
Continue to provide and grow. And it's going to be there before us, it's going to be there after us, and it's going to continue to produce this unconditional love. And that's when everything just aligned. It just made sense. This was it. This is what love truly is in its purest form. Unconditional love. Powerful. And once I found that's what it was, I started to manifest it in myself. And now I know I can love everybody and everything, because I believe everybody and everything is one. And I believe one love. Bob Marley been saying that, and I feel it, bro. One love. I love you no matter what. You could be the most disgusting human. I may not respect you. But I can tell you I love you. I love you. I love you. I may not know you. I don't know your name. I don't know your face. But if you need to hear this today, I love you.
Powerful.
Unconditionally.
Powerful.
And that's the purest form of love.
Wow.
Unconditional.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautifully articulated, bro. I can't even articulate it as good. I think for me, so unconditional love is right there, and my answer is just the next part of it. And what I think it is sacrifice.
Ooh.
Sacrifice. When you give a piece of yourself for another person, you are dying a piece of you so that you can see the fruition of another person. Ooh. Right? So when I think of the guys that are going overseas to fight for our people, right? Of course, the first thing is, they're providing for themselves, but I'm also thinking, they're also fighting for the freedom of the people that live here. Right? There's a little bit of sacrifice. When you see the firefighter run into the home, right, knowing that he could probably lose his life to save that child or kitten, you think of sacrifice. And there's I think the world, there are a lot of stories where people do these types of things, where they take their heart and their action and they risk everything so that they can try to save another person. And I think that in itself, right, is the core essence of what love is. So a lot of people ask me, like, sacrifice. Sacrifice. A lot of people ask me, like, why do you like, what makes Jesus better than everybody else, right? And honestly, the first thing I tell him is, I'm not really an expert. I'm not the wisest one to answer this question. You should probably go to like a priest or a bishop or whatever, or something like that, right? But my interpretation is, there was this God who gave birth to this son, right? Who was sinless. And then when you learn about sin, right? Then and you really ask yourself, like, I've been a bad guy for a lot of my years in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a lot of the stuff that I've done. But there's this guy that existed who kind of didn't do anything, right? He was just flawless. Didn't go with hookup culture. Didn't do any of the stuff that was going on in this generation. And he was flawless. And when he died even gracing the people that put him on the cross, and he sacrificed himself. And the story was that if you just believe in doing the right thing, if you believe in being good to people, right, the same stuff that Jesus did, which is feeding the hungry, right? Showing unconditional love to the prostitute and to the tax collectors and the people that were hoarding them, that you can find a little bit of salvation. And that's the important reason why, for me, that story matters so much. It's not that, I know a lot of people think like, oh, this guy, Christianity is like his core root, and there's a lot of people that are so blinded that they use Christianity as a way to filter people from good or bad people. I'm not that type. But the core root of me will always be that I give God grace for everything first. Because before me there's a story of Jesus, and when it's not going through the wrong person, it's probably the most beautiful story that I've ever heard of my entire life. This man came to this world, did nothing wrong, and he died so that people could believe in a better life for themselves. He taught them that the stuff that's happening on this earth now is not the stuff that you should be looking for, that there's a God out there who has a higher perspective of you, and that you should live to a higher standard of your life. You shouldn't be living and hating the life that you've been given, right? And going and chasing this dollar, right, is not what God would want. He even says in the Bible, right, you should not have two masters, right? It's either God or money, right? Yes. So it's like, when we go through this day and day, right? When the next day, tomorrow, you wake up in your bed, the first thing you're gonna think about is, okay, how am I gonna pay my bills, right? How am I gonna pay for my car note? How am I gonna pay for whatever, right? It could be the new equipment or the new thing. We're all so focused on money.
And people don't realize that's a form of worship. If that's all that's in your head, that's all you're striving after, you're worshiping that second master.
Beautifully
you are being
said.
Controlled by this dollar.
Beautifully said. I couldn't even have said it myself. We're always worshiping money, right? We're always worshiping, what can I get out of a situation? And I was that guy who was so focused on, okay, what can I get out of this friendship? What can I get out of this thing? But when I started to...
All right, man. It's been a great conversation, It's been a great conversation.
It's been a good time. It's been a good conversation.
Good time. You know what? I even wrote down right here what I wanted to speak on is like... And I know a lot of people, like, this is going to be a challenge that comes in everybody's life, And it's being real. And having real people around you. And I'm saying this because you can be surrounded by a lot of people that motivate you and push you forward, but aren't real with you. I remember earlier you said when you had the ball dream, nobody was a naysayer. Nobody was telling you, you need this, and that. You're like, yeah, cool, that's what's up. Yeah. Like, that can be, like, that's not real.
It's not real.
And it's like, they don't want to hurt you. It can be the people around you that do not want to hurt you, but they will not tell you the truth. And they don't realize that them leading you astray is harming you more than helping you.
Yes. Yes.
So being real is something like...
Oh man, I agree.
Like, how do you find these real ones? What do you do? How do you be real to somebody? I feel like a lot of shit rappers... Like, are your homies really real with you? Like, you could love something, and it's hard. How do you become real? Because when I say real, recognize real, I know you're a real one. I'm a real one too. Even to, like, a fault, I could be harsh, but I'm gonna give you the honest truth. I'm gonna tell you what I think, and I may not be right, but I'm gonna tell you what I think. To be truthfully honest, how do you be real with somebody? How do you tell somebody they're not good at something? How do you tell somebody they need to fix up their life?
Yeah. That's such a great question. Going back to that ball dream that I just was not thinking about with a clear state and just logical intention. I think at the time, and this is something that I can be honest about, there were people that did come and tried to show me a different path. I remember this guy who I used to play ball at a couple different places, and I remember there's a dude who was studying to go be a lawyer, and he was a very unique individual, a very smart dude, right? He had all the grades in high school, but he was like 3-4 years older. He would come on by and he would watch what our coach would teach us, and we would do the drills on some of the older guys, kick their butt sometimes they come in and just dominate us. And I remember 2 or 3 times got a conversation where he sat down with me and told me, like, yo, if you there's so many times where he's kind of like, yo, you don't want to end up like this, like, or like that. You want to go down this route. And at the time, it wasn't how I would have been real to somebody, but it was his way of being real with me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think...
And you didn't take it in at that time.
I didn't take it in at the time. Now that I'm older, I'm like, oh shit, like there was a little bit of hard-headedness for me, bro, that just didn't want to hear it. And then there's another part of me that was also not willing to listen from my own self and then from that specific person. But I think in the conversation of being real, right? It depends on what it is you mean by being real, right? So I think that it's wise for every person in the world, especially if you're young, to get advice from people that are older than you, right? And I think the mistake is when we think that we have all the answers, right? Yeah. There's a 7-year-old person right in front of you, right? And you're thinking that you have all the answers when that person has lived 70 different years compared to your, let's say, 20 at the time. Don't you think that that person would probably give you some intention on what they think would be wise?
Yeah, but like I'm just saying this like you're totally real, but I'm just thinking about the opposing side. Like a lot of elders are really stuck in their hard-headedness, you know.
Their way.
We're more malleable now. We're more open to different discussions. But like a lot of our elders are stubborn or they're ignorant, 100%. You know. And yes, they've lived longer than us and they've been through these times. And you should have an open ear. But sometimes they're just speaking madness, bro.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. There's a lot of what is it called, prejudice and just unwillingness to give their heart to a younger generation. My thing is, I would first, this is advice I tell my younger self, go and find somebody that will speak to you from their heart. And that's very hard to find in itself. Yeah. So find a real person first. But the next thing is also to ask for guidance, like ask for help. Like go to people and say, dude, I'm genuinely confused about this. And make sure you're not going to the wrong person, right? But go and say, you know, I'm really trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do and what is your take on this, you know? And from that, you're going to get different responses and you should ask multiple people. And from that little stage of your life, you should be able to kind of take the tools and then take action on it. But I think another big thing with being real too is going through the motions of life, you know? So I'll get your opinion on this as well. I think one of the things that I could have definitely done different, Theo, when I was younger is just worked more, bro. Just worked. Like stop being lazy, you know? I'm telling this to myself. Stop being lazy. Stop consuming so much, right? Stop complaining, stop being cynical and just sitting still, and start taking massive action. Like just take insane amounts of action. Like work so hard that you have no time to sit back. And from that action, hopefully people will see the efforts that you're putting in and start giving you tips and gems. You might start meshing with other people that are also taking massive amounts of action. And I think that's what being real really is. Real is experience. Real is action. Real is authenticity. You know, when you're sitting with your homie who also isn't doing nothing, right? You guys are both just smoking weed at a time, just kicked up, you know, not really doing too much. That person is being real with you, but they're being real who they are. And that person is a person who consumes 7 hours of 2K and then 4 hours of YouTube, who's a C+ student. He's not even being real with himself in terms of is he utilizing his best self. But when he's talking to you, he's giving you his best self. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you need to.
I see. So you have to be real with yourself before you can be real with somebody else. Exactly.
And bro, I'll be honest with you, even to this day, I still have this problem. Because the hardest thing with being real with yourself is being honest with yourself. And it hurts to crucify yourself, so to speak. It hurts yourself. It hurts yourself to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, it's your fault.
Yes.
Yeah, it's your fault. You did this. You're not good enough.
But it's also crucial to do that. You need to know when to put yourself in place. You need to know when you're lacking. And like when people give you this criticism, see it as constructive criticism. Actually take it into account. Because like, bro, man, I've taken myself down a notch multiple times. I've been in arguments and somebody called me something, and then, you know, at first I'm thinking, no, that's not me. And then I have to go back and think, like, maybe this is who I am at this time. Maybe this is what I do. And, you know, it's a total negative trait, but when you understand that you have these negative traits, and nobody's perfect, you need to understand you have it and try and work to be better at it. You know, try and work to improve it. You may not be the best at it yet, but you need to work you need to work to improve it. When you wake up in the morning and you realize you did nothing yesterday and you did nothing the day before that and the day before that, you need a reality check and be like, you're fucking up. Life doesn't suck. You suck.
You suck. Exactly.
You suck. Unfortunately.
That exact note is the reason for why it limited me from being real with others and getting the right feedback back. You know, so when we think about being real, the first things that I think of is just being super authentic. You know, so like, what do you need right now in your life? What are other people doing what were they doing at their age, right? What are they doing right now, and what is it day to day, right? The next thing is, what do you need to survive, right? And what are you looking for, right? These are questions I should have asked myself. You know, what are the demands for me, right? What does this world need for me to do, right? So my world is, I'm the oldest, you know, I gotta provide for my family, right? I'm the only male, so for me, I gotta provide. I gotta protect the 2 women that are in my house, right? I got a girlfriend, I gotta protect her, right? I gotta pay for, you know, a good life for my family, right? So I gotta be a provider, I gotta be a protector, I gotta be a leader, right? So these are things that I have to figure out, and how am I gonna do that? It's through development. It's through being an expert in my craft, my career, and then the next thing is being an accountable person, you know, with the people that I have around me, you know. And as I've gotten older, being real people is a lot easier now because my expectations are not so through the roof, you know. They're not so over the top, and I think this could be a whole podcast in itself. As I've removed myself from social media, my view of the world has changed. So I'm not so deranged into thinking that things are more close than they actually are. You know?
Dude, it's crazy. Like,
that's a whole podcast in
itself.
It is,
bro. Social media's fucking us up.
It is.
It's really distorting our vision. It's hurting both parties, male, female, young, old.
Every group and economic stat class, 40s, 30s, 20 demographic of people, it's affecting everybody. And there's a small majority that it's doing a positive thing, but there's a bigger majority that it's just not helping them out. It's skewing the dating market. It's ruining social connections.
Dude, it's fucking us. Oh, yeah, bro.
How do you be real with someone, right? And I think the best thing is put your feet in their shoes the first thing, you know, and try to understand what they're asking you, right? Are they asking you for love? Are they asking you for guidance? Are they asking you for respect? Are they asking you for hope? Are they asking you for motivation? And the next thing is be real with them about your experience to that topic, right? A lot of people, you know, my homies, right? They'll ask me about, you know, advice with women, and I'll tell them the truth, right? I'll tell them exactly what I think. You know, sometimes people will ask me about jobs and, you know, going from place to place and trying to figure out that structure, and then God as well, right? And even fitness now as I'm moving into that area, right? So being real is just telling people what you really think in that moment, and it has to do nothing with you. It has to do with your brain working for that person, and you're just seeing you using your brain to think about that person, and everything about their question in their life without you being involved.
I see.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's only now that I could really do that. When I was younger, it was harder for me, bro. I just couldn't do it. Because everything around me involved me. It had to be me. You know, if I'm not in it, then why are you asking me? You know what I mean, right? And now things completely change.
Word. I feel like that also stems in that also lies in just not trying to give the right answer. You know, sometimes there is no right answer. People are just looking for a different perspective. You know, people are just looking for somebody, not in a sense guidance, somebody to listen, just to hear somebody else's perspective. Just that's it. You know, just I'm not trying to be right. I'm not trying to be wrong. Right. This is how I see it. How are you going to interpret it? Leaving it up to them, like you said, removing yourself from it, leaving it up to them. You're just a different mind that's gone through different experiences.
Exactly.
And we seem to fuck with each other, so I'll give you my take on this experience.
Exactly.
That's it.
And that's to me in essence what being real is.
Real you know shit. I mean? Authenticity at its finest.
You're just telling them what it is. Do that. You know, I had a homie, and he's not the most suave of women, right? So he kind of has his opinion, and you know, just watching all the red pill content on YouTube.
Damn.
Right? Yeah, he just building this little world of a perception of women, right?
Red pill is the worst for if you have no game.
100%.
If you have no game, red pill isn't for you.
100%.
It's not for you.
Yep.
It may teach you how to get a little bit of game, but like, yo, honestly, it's not for you. If you can already like speak to women, and you know you already have a certain finesse, then red pill can truly educate you in a sense, you know, because then you're not taking it too serious.
Yeah, it's giving you the broader perspective. I think that it does a lot more bad than it does good, because it gives you the logic, which I think you do need.
100%, right? It's 100% logic.
You do need the logic. I think it's important to understand that, but it gives you. What I've noticed is it makes a lot of men emotional based off of the logic. Right, and this is where things go bad, and they do a lot of their decision making and their conversational points from just red pill information. Like this guy, he doesn't talk to any girls, doesn't have a good social life, right? And his only mantra is, the red pill taught me this, but he doesn't realize he's just verbalizing what he saw in a video.
All right, fam, how do you like? I see you as a very positive person.
Thank you.
Like a very positive person.
Thank you.
How do you find balance? Because it's very easy to be a toxic positive person. Toxic positivity is definitely something that is I don't want to say dormant, is resonant in this space. So toxic positivity is something that's resonant in this space we are in, this self-development, self-improvement space. A lot of people can be positive, but life isn't positive. Yeah. Like how do you keep balance? How do you stop yourself from being too positive?
That's a really great question. You know, bro, Theo, when I look back at, I think the first thing is being very realistic. Like you literally said in the question, life isn't always positive, you know. But the question that I always ask myself is, would I rather be cynical or be positive about the situation?
Oh yeah, bro, I go through that all. I feel like I'm on that clockwork. It's like, I could feel really bad about this situation, but I could also feel good about this situation.
Exactly.
Like it's a bad situation. Don't get me wrong. But I control how I feel.
Exactly.
That's being in control. Yeah.
For me, it's like this situation sucks, but what can I get out of it? You know, how can I look better at the situation than what it currently is?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of people that want to let you know that your situation sucks and you shouldn't feel good about it. And I've met these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll let you know, they'll give it to you by the words they say, the things that they mean, by judging your physique, by judging your appearance, by looking at you from different perspectives. They will just let you know that your situation sucks and you should feel bad about it. And then the way with social media now you can judge if your life sucks or not, right?
Now you can go and check.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Exactly.
Yes.
So it's like you have ample amount of information that can let you know, bro, you know, you're not feasible as a human being. It comes a time, and I'm glad I did this when I was nobody, right? I found that for me, the happiness comes from always trying to see the half glass full. Like not just half filled, the full cup is full. You know, and sometimes people take drinks out of it, you know, and it might be half empty at times, but it'll always be full for me. You know what I mean? I'm always gonna look at things from a better perspective.
I see.
You know, I don't see
being an optimist.
Yeah, I'm just an optimist. That's really what it is. I don't like to think of anything less than, because if we go to that perspective, life can become very less than.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for you 100%. To see it less than. It's a lot easier for 100%. You to see the glass half empty.
Bro, we turn on CP24. We're watching all the news reports, right?
Death and politics.
Come on, right? Politics, right? We're talking about the people that have been stabbed in the city. We're talking about, like, I could create that whole tangent with you and talking about this easily. It's just there. But then it takes away from the potential of me being a creator of positive energy, right? While the world wants me to emit negative energy constantly, right? And
spin that around. It's being an alchemist. Yeah. It's being able to change this energy from one state to another.
Exactly.
You know, energy transmutation.
Boom, in a sense, exactly. You know, that goes right into the works of karma, you know?
Karma. Yeah. I don't believe in karma.
Really?
I don't believe
powerful.
in karma.
Why not?
I don't. I believe it is what it is. And I feel like if you believe that there's karma, then when you do something bad, you're automatically drawing negative energy to yourself, because I just did something bad's gonna happen to me.
Right, okay.
I just think for a long point of my life, I would think that good things don't really happen to good people. A lot of bad things continuously happen to good people. That's what I would think in my head. And like now I do kind of see it differently. now I do see it differently. I just think it is. It is what it is. It's so easy for you to think like I just took the cookie out this cookie jar when I wasn't supposed to, and then moments later I trip and fell. It's easy to say that's karma, or maybe you just didn't tie up your shoes.
I see what you're saying. Okay,
I don't believe there's
this balancing act.
I believe it is what it is, and it is what you make it. You have the control over this karma. Yeah. What do you think karma is? Let me ask you that.
It's a great question, bro. So at one of the jobs that I work at, you know, there's I'm sitting down predominantly a lot of the time, and I'm kind of like just a person in the middle of a hallway, so a lot of people come by and have conversations with me. One of the jobs, there's an elderly Asian woman that comes by, and she, you know, teaches me about Buddhism. She teaches me about her way of life, right? And she always tries to mentor me in a certain way and teaches me about good and bad karma. And in my mind, what I think is really, I think that when you view everything in good and bad karma, you make yourself a god, because if you say, I continue to do good stuff, only good stuff will happen to me, right? So what you're saying, in a sense, right? It's like you're always viewing, things from, I did this and this good, well, why did bad happen, kind of thing. Or if I did good and good, I should be equating good, right? So it's always an equation. What I see karma as, bro, is, so in the Bible, there's this concept called sowing and reaping.
Yeah, you reap what you sow. Yeah.
Exactly. So when you sow a seed of something good, you reap a harvest of something good, right? And you might not reap it in that time or in that season, but later on in your life, you might see it come about, right? Do you know what I mean? So what I've seen now, what I perceive from that is, if I'm good with what I have in front of me, down the line something good will come out of it. If I plant a tree now, I'm probably not going to get to see its shade, but another generation, years from me now, will be able to sit in the shade and say, damn, the sun's not burning me so much. I'm thankful to whoever, you know, planted this tree, me not knowing I put that into existence. You know, so I see it as the law of intention. You know, it's this thing that it allows me to focus in on taking the right steps, right? For me, bro, I have a very reckless personality. I have a very trust me, bro, I have a very volatile mind. My mind goes to so many places. So for me, the concept of karma and God, the gospel, right, always keeps that side of me in check. You know, and it goes into my whole pops and about the violence and that and all that stuff in the past, but it allows me, bro, to kind of remember that the energy you put in, right, is usually the energy that's going to come out, right? And it also keeps my work aligned too, right? If I'm putting in hours into this thing, I will reap the knowledge and wisdom that comes from attaining it. You know, so for me, I only see karma as a good thing. I don't see it as a thing that it weighs my existence in. Like I have to. Shit, if I do 1,000 good things for Theo, then he'll be a good friend of mine. You know, like that's what the karma is going to be. Nah, I don't really see it like that. I see it more as, I've been given this life. You know, I'm gonna continue to do good, donate to charities, do what I can, with, you know, with the less fortunate, and put my efforts to make this world a better place. And that energy hopefully will create and sponsor more good energy.
I see. So it's kind of as like, if you continue to do good things, good things may come
or may not come, but I'm setting the tone for it.
All right, that was the discussion we had. If you watched it all, kudos to you. If you had to skip through it a bit of time, that's fine as well. But unfortunately, the camera did end up dying. We did continue to have a little discussion, and we actually have a discussion he will be posting on his page as well. So check that out over at Kingdom Athletics. Subscribe, like I said, leave a comment saying that Captain Dub sent you. If you enjoyed this content that I made, leave a comment, tell me you liked it, tell me you want more. Even if you didn't enjoy it, I'm still gonna do more because I enjoyed it, and I feel like I can refine this content to a point where it is a major element to this channel. So thanks again for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and wait for some more content coming at you. Deuces.